Hello, everyone. Welcome back to EnglishFlow Club. I'm Anna.
And I'm Leo. Anna, are you ready for today's incredible story?
Oh my goodness, Leo, I am so excited about this one. We're talking about pizza today, but not just any pizza story. This is about dreams, determination, and, well, a lot of delicious food.
Exactly. So picture this. It's 1985, JFK Airport in New York. A young Italian man steps off the plane with $200 in his pocket, maybe 50 English words, and his grandmother's secret pizza recipe. Fast forward to today.
And now he owns one of the most beloved pizza places in Little Italy. But Leo, the journey between those two moments, that's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, absolutely. So grab a cup of coffee, maybe even a slice of pizza if you have one handy, and let's dive into Tony Marcello's American Dream story.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Tony Marcello, 28 years old, fresh off the boat from Naples, Italy. Leo, can you imagine landing in New York City with basically no English?
Oh man, I can barely handle ordering coffee in a foreign language. But Tony, he tells this hilarious story about his first week. He needed directions to the subway, right? But he pronounced it Subway, like the sandwich shop.
No way.
Yeah, the guy he asked looked at him like he was completely crazy. Tony said he spent his first 3 days looking for sandwich shops underground.
Oh my gosh, that's both hilarious and heartbreaking at the same time. I mean, imagine being that lost and confused in a huge city like New York.
Exactly. And his first job? Washing dishes at this fancy Manhattan restaurant. The other workers spoke Spanish, customers spoke English, and poor Tony is just talking to himself in Italian, trying to make sense of everything.
That must have been so isolating. But you know what's amazing? Every single night he'd go back to his tiny apartment.
Oh yeah, and he'd practice English by reading newspapers out loud, even though he only understood like half the words. Can you imagine? The Yankees win something something baseball game.
That's dedication right there. But Leo, here's what I love about Tony's story. He wasn't just learning English. He had this bigger vision, you know?
Absolutely. He always said, in Italy, pizza is not just food. It's family, it's tradition, it's love on a plate. And he wanted to bring that feeling to America.
Aw, that gives me chills. Love on a plate. I mean, that's beautiful, right?
But Anna, the road to that dream, it was not easy.
Oh, gosh, no. The loan rejections alone would have crushed most people. Bank after bank after bank.
Yeah. Tony said they'd look at his broken English, his business plan written on notebook paper, literally notebook paper, and they'd just say, "No thank you, Mr. Marcello."
That's so frustrating. But here's what blows my mind. Tony didn't give up. He worked double shifts for 3 years, washing dishes during the day, delivering pizzas at night.
Whew. 3 years. Can you imagine that grind? And he saved every single penny. But you know what? He was learning something even more valuable than just saving money. What's that? He was learning about America, about Americans. He realized that customers didn't just want good food, they wanted to feel welcome, to feel like they belonged somewhere.
Oh, that's so true. It's like he was studying human nature while making dough.
And then came the breakthrough moment.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Chen.
Tell them about Mrs. Chen, Leo. This part always makes me smile. Okay, so Mrs. Chen was this elderly Chinese-American woman who lived in Tony's building. During a building barbecue, she tried his homemade pizza. Tony said she took one bite and her eyes got huge.
Like cartoon character huge?
Exactly. And she said, and I love this quote, She said, "Young man, this is not just pizza. This is magic."
Magic. I love that woman already.
Right? And here's the kicker. Mrs. Chin became his first investor. She gave him $5,000 from her retirement savings.
Wow. Just wow. I mean, that's not just money. That's faith in another human being.
Tony still gets emotional talking about it. He says she believed in me when banks wouldn't even look at my application.
You know, Leo, this really shows us something beautiful about human nature. Sometimes it takes just one person believing in you to change everything.
Absolutely. And Anna, this sets us up perfectly for what happens next, the actual opening of Tony's Pizza Corner. But let's save that exciting moment for our next segment.
So, finally, March 1988. Opening day. Leo, set the scene for us.
Picture this. Tony's Pizza Corner, a rainy Tuesday morning. The first customer walks in, a construction worker who orders a slice and a Coke.
Ooh, pressure moment.
Tony said his hands were shaking so bad he could barely cut the pizza. But when that construction worker took his first bite and smiled,
That's when he knew.
that's when he knew he was going to make it. But Anna, those early days were brutal.
Oh my gosh, yes. 16-hour days, 7 days a week. Tony was literally everything. Cook, cashier, cleaner, delivery guy.
And his English was still a work in progress. He once told a customer their pizza would be ready in 5 potatoes instead of 5 minutes.
5 potatoes. I can't. That's adorable, though.
But you know what? People didn't care about his English mistakes. They cared that Tony treated every single customer like family.
Exactly. He learned everyone's names, their favorite orders, their stories. Those construction workers from the nearby site, they became regulars.
And local families started coming for Sunday dinners. It was like, how do I put this? Tony wasn't just serving pizza. He was serving belonging.
Ooh, I like that. Serving belonging. That's exactly what it was.
You could see it happening gradually. Word of mouth spread. People would bring their friends, their family members. Tony's little pizza shop was becoming the neighborhood's living room.
And Leo, what I find so inspiring is how Tony turned his challenges into strengths. His accent, his simple approach. Instead of hiding these things, he embraced them.
Exactly. He wasn't trying to be something he wasn't. He was authentically himself, and people connected with that honesty.
But the real magic was still to come, wasn't it? When Tony started giving back to the community that had embraced him.
Oh yes, the pay-it-forward system and the English tutoring. That's where Tony's story becomes truly special. We'll dive into that inspiring chapter next. But here's where Tony's story gets really special. 1989 hits, and there's this economic downturn.
Yeah, lots of people lost their jobs.
Right. And instead of just focusing on his business, Tony did something incredible. He started this informal pay-it-forward system.
Wait, explain this. I love this part.
So if someone couldn't afford lunch, they could work for an hour, sweeping, organizing, helping with simple tasks, and get a meal in exchange.
Emotionally, oh, my heart. That's just beautiful.
Tony said, "I remember being hungry when I first arrived. Food should never be used to punish people for being poor."
Voice slightly shaky. Okay, I'm getting a little teary-eyed here. But there's more, right? The English tutoring?
Warmly. Oh, yes. Tony basically became the neighborhood's unofficial English teacher. New immigrants would come to his shop, and while they waited for their orders, He'd help them practice English.
And his reasoning was so simple and beautiful. We were all in the same boat. America is big enough for all of our dreams.
Man, that guy just gets it, you know?
He really does. America is big enough for all of our dreams. I mean, if that's not the American spirit, I don't know what is.
And Anna, think about the ripple effect. All those people Tony helped, they went on to help others. He was building more than a business. He was building a community network of support.
Exactly. It's like he understood that success isn't just about individual achievement. It's about lifting everyone up together.
I love how Tony saw his pizza shop as more than just a place to make money. It was a place to make connections, to make a difference.
And Leo, what's amazing is that this philosophy actually made his business stronger, not weaker. People didn't just come for the pizza, they came for the feeling of belonging.
Which brings us to today, where Tony's legacy continues to thrive. Let's talk about what Tony's Pizza Corner looks like now. So, Anna, fast forward to today. Tony's 67 now.
And he could totally retire, but guess what? He's still there most afternoons.
Of course he is. His son Michael manages the day-to-day stuff now. But Tony, he's in his flower-covered apron, chatting with customers.
The shop employs 15 people from 7 different countries. 7! That's like a mini United Nations of pizza making.
A delicious United Nations. And the walls, Anna. Tell them about the walls.
Oh my gosh, the walls are covered with photos. Wedding pictures, graduation photos, birthday celebrations. It's like a visual history of the neighborhood.
Tony says, this isn't just a pizza shop. This is where people celebrate life.
I mean, how perfect is that? Where people celebrate life.
You know what struck me most about Tony's story? It's not really about pizza at all.
No, it's about connection. It's about the idea that with hard work, kindness, and a little help from neighbors, anyone can build something meaningful.
Exactly. His pizza recipe came from Italy, but his success story? That's purely American.
Okay, everyone, we want to hear from you. What do you think was Tony's greatest challenge? The language barrier? Finding money? Something else entirely?
Yeah, and here's another question. Tony said, America is big enough for all of our dreams. Do you agree with that? What does that mean to you?
Ooh, and here's a fun one. If you moved to a new country tomorrow, what's one thing from your culture you'd want to share with your new neighbors?
I love that question. And how about this? Tony's success came from treating customers like family. In today's digital world, how important do you think personal relationships still are in business?
And finally, what can we learn from Mrs. Chen? How do we recognize potential in others? How do we become the person who believes in someone else's dream?
You know, Anna, Tony's story really gets to the heart of what the American dream actually means.
It's not just about making money or getting rich. It's about building something that makes your community better.
Exactly. And when you walk past Tony's Pizza Corner today, you'll still see him there, chatting with customers and his mix of Italian accented English and warm gestures.
At 67, people ask him why he doesn't retire. His answer, why would I leave my family?
Referring to his customers, of course.
Of course. So what can we take away from Tony's incredible journey?
Well, first, persistence pays off. 3 years of saving, countless rejections, but he never gave up.
Second, community matters. Success isn't just individual, it's about lifting others up as you climb.
Third, authenticity wins. Tony didn't try to become someone else. He brought his true self to America.
And finally, small acts of kindness create huge impacts, from Mrs. Chen's investment to Tony's pay-it-forward system.
Thoughtfully, you know,
The next time any of us are facing a big challenge, we should remember Tony standing in that airport in 1985, scared but hopeful, carrying nothing but a recipe and a dream. Sometimes that's all you need to start building something beautiful.
And that's our story for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on EnglishFlow Club.
Keep believing in the power of dreams, hard work, and hey, maybe grab a really good slice of pizza this week.
Until next time, this is Anna.
And Leo, reminding you that every great story starts with someone brave enough to take the first step. Ciao for now.